Early reformers. Girolamo Savonarola, a monk in the late 1400s, tried to reform the church from within. He spoke out against church abuse and urged churches to sell their gold and silver to help the poor. He also led people to burn their values in an event called the Bonfire of the Vanities. At first, he was supported by Pope Alexander. Later, he was excommunicated for his ideas and executed in 1498.
To reform the church, some leaders started new religious groups focused on spirituality and service. The most important was the Society of Jesus, or Jesuits, founded in 1543 by the Ignatius of Loyola, a former soldier. Approved by the Pope in 1539, Loyola led the Jesuits with strict discipline and loyalty to the church. They focused on education and built mission schools and universities to fight the Protestant Reformation, helping the church regain influence.
The Council of Trent. In 1545, Pope Paul III created the Council of Trent to address issues in the Catholic Church, which met until 1563. The council responded to Protestant criticism by clarifying Catholic beliefs and making reforms. They reformed problems like clergy corruption, improved priest training, and banning the sale of indulgence. The council rejected Protestant ideas of personal faith and discipline, instead emphasizing the church role of faith through ceremonies and traditions. This approach gained support with regions like Austria and Poland returning to Catholicism. The Jesuits expanded their influence, opening 696 schools by 1700 and spread the church's impact to India, Japan, and China.
Reforming Catholics. Key Catholic leaders helped enforce the reforms from the Council of Trent. Charles Borromeo, Archbishop of Milan, built a school for priests and followed the council's reforms. In France, Francis of Sales worked to bring the people of Savoy back to Catholicism. Many turned to Calvinism. His efforts succeeded, and he also started teaching order for women.
Women and the Church. During the Renaissance, women in religious orders took on more active roles. Before this, nuns mostly lived in secluded convents, but by the time the Middle Age, it became more common for nuns to help the poor and sick and orphan. In 1535, an Italian nun, Angela Merici, founded the Company of Saint Ursula to educate girls. Jane of Natal and Francis of Sales co-founded the Visitation of Holy Mary Order to train women as teachers. Mary Ward of England created a network of girls' schools across Europe, which was later recognized by the Church. Teresa of Avila, a famous spiritual leader, reformed the Carmelite order after following strict practices of fasting and prayer. Her deep faith and reported visions of Christ inspired many to stay loyal to the Catholic Church.
To fight the Reformation, the Church set up the Roman Inquisition in 1542 to deal with Protestantism. Later, the Church gave it more power, using it to try to save those accused of being Protestants, practicing witchcraft, or breaking church laws. The Spanish Inquisition that started in 1478 was even harsher, enforcing uniformity, especially on converted Jews, Muslims, and later Protestants. The Church also created the Index of Forbidden Books, warning people not to read listed books or risk losing their souls. However, reports of torture and executions hurt the Church's reputation, and the actions of the Inquisition during the Counter-Reformation are still seen as an abuse of power.